Welcome everyone. Another great video. We got a fantastic question here from Daniel. What is the
Yeah.
best time of year to retire in Canada? Very good question. We're going to tackle, but
Mhm.
first, what is the most common time for people to retire? It's their birthday. I turned 60, I turned
Yeah.
65. That's it. We're retiring. Often that's what people do is they pick their birthday. We should quickly mention there is no magic
No,
date. I
not
would
at all.
yeah, I wish there was a secret date where, September 23rd of a leap year is tax free, but that's not how it works. There's of course, like many financial planning items, it depends, but we're going to cover the factors that determine what it depends on so you can find the best time for your situation.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it'll depend on a variety of things. What kind of job do you have? Do you have pensions that are involved? What kind of savings you got? All these things will come into play. And again, one of the main factors to consider is, and this usually applies to government work as opposed to, say,
Yeah.
private, do you have a severance? And again, can that severance be deferred? A lot of these things will make it. I mean, if you're going to work all the way through to December and you get a large severance that has to pay that year, probably not the best time to retire because now you got a huge tax burden. If that can be deferred to next year, great. If not, maybe you work half the year and you collect severance for the rest of it, and that will go on. So a severance package could have a very big effect on when you retire and what time works best. Or, I mean, combined with that can also be the same scenario if you have sick or vacation time that you've built up. Maybe you have 10, 12, 15 weeks of something like that. If you do at the end of the year, again, more added on income for you, going to be a large tax thing you have to deal with. If that can be deferred, put over to the next year, you retire early January, those are options you can take a look at. But those are just some of the factors we have to consider. There's also more private sector and other things along those lines.
Yeah, we're covering something that may apply more particularly to government work,
Mhm.
which would be the severance, but might be the payout for sick time, vacation time. The idea there, you don't want all of it in one year. You don't
No,
want to
not
front
at
your
all.
salary and then a big lump sum. You want to either defer it or just retire in the early part of January of the next following calendar year.
Mhm.
And then perhaps for the private sector, you can get bonuses. You can get bonuses paid out. You could have stock options that may vest. There's details there, how it works with your company pension. A few examples. Frequently, you might get an annual bonus. That's common. Sometimes you
Yep.
get quarterly bonus. The frequency changes, but the idea is you don't want to retire and then miss your bonus. Ideally, you work a full year, then maybe you got to tack on a little extra time to make sure you get that bonus payment. How the
Yep.
bonus is paid is really going to depend on your job, but often you got to be employed in order to collect. That's usually how it works.
Yes.
So you got to make sure that you actually strategically retire not 2 days before the bonus and then you just miss it.
No.
You want to make sure you do collect that bonus. You've earned it. Similar with the stock options, often you have to hold them for a certain period of time before they
Mhm.
vest, and you might want to consider that. Hey, if I retire 3 months from now, I'll get all these vested options, which will help boost my retirement funds. And then also details of company pension. Every company is going to be a little different.
Yep.
Sometimes, if you have a defined benefit plan, you might max out after so many years of
Yeah.
service. That's it. Pension's top. If you work beyond that, you're really not adding anything to your pension. So maybe working beyond that wouldn't be as advisable and might make sense to retire. Lots of nuance there. A slippery slope.
Big
You,
time.
you can make the argument. Let's say the bonuses are quarterly and you get the quarterly bonus. You think, well, if I work a few more months, I get the next
And get the
quarterly
next
bonus
one.
and then the next one.
And the next one.
Eventually, you have to retire. So this is all meant to be, if you're thinking of retiring, let's say
Yeah.
at 60, well, when in that year in which you turn 60 makes the most sense? We'll make sure you collect some of these items. That's the idea here of how you implement that. All of this started from a question from Daniel, a great question from Daniel. If you had a question, how would people get hold of us?
You go to chatwithclintonandkevin.com by all means. If you want to know more about when the best time for you to retire is, according to what your financial plan may say, or maybe you need one of those, or if you have any other financial questions on any matters, by all means, please shoot them into us. They do go directly to Clinton and myself. No robo advisors, nobody in the back office that's taking this. We are the ones that will answer those questions, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. But beyond that, we also have something else with that.
We have a newsletter. There is a link in the description if you'd like to sign up. It's a weekly newsletter. If you like these videos, you'll certainly enjoy the newsletter. Similar idea,
Mhm.
meant to be tips on financial planning that you can implement, hopefully to improve your financial situation. Back to the factors here to determine when is the best time of year to retire. We talked about some that might apply to government, some that might apply to the private sector. These would apply in general pretty much for everyone.
Yeah, and basically what we'd be dealing with, some of the things that you could look at is most people have a health plan that they're dealing with through their work. That's usually set up. It's part of the benefits package you get. Now, they usually reset once a year. So January of each year, everything goes. So if you're looking at retiring in December and maybe you've used them all up, well, maybe you'll consider going to January. Everything resets. You can now look at your dental plan. You can look at your prescription benefits and things along those lines. You get to collect for that year. You can retire early then, and you're not worried about anything else. Another point on that time is also vacation time. If you have 5, 6 weeks worth of vacation, maybe because you worked at the company for that long, well, retiring the end of the year, you've already used up, or you're going to take them there, maybe waiting until you get to or January or February of the next year, take your vacation time and retire after that date. That way you can collect everything. Options that you can consider for when retirement might be appropriate.
So yeah, those resets. Again, it will depend on your specific situation with your company, but frequently companies will have an annual reset
Yes, they will.
on the calendar year. So waiting until January to get those resets so you can take full advantage of all the health benefits, the vacation time, and then retire. Also, for the health benefits, sometimes they'll have criteria to determine if you qualify for a retirement health package. You may have to work for a certain length of time or be a certain age, and then you could get these extensions or get it qualified for a retirement package. So keep that in mind. If you're expecting to use some of the health benefits in retirement or the retirement package, you may have to meet a few criteria in order to get that. All good things to keep in mind when determining when is the best time of year to retire. If you like this video, you'll certainly like the video on the screen now.
Yes, you will.
How not to run out of money in retirement. Click that one. We'll see you again very soon.
Take care.